Just booting up YouTube. Oh, look, my hair all standing up. Boy, Friday's show was so good. I went home so humble.
Yeah.
So humble. We can hear you pecking.
Yeah, we can
I
hear
know.
you pecking. I like it.
Well, I got my phone up here right in front of the microphone, so I can, because I don't have any way to hold the mic and type. And I'm sending George a message. See if he'll call in at 7:20 as we go into a break to discuss tideline stuff
Stuff.
for 60 seconds. That'll do it.
Yes, it
That way, see on Skype like this, I can hear every time. I can hear that. It all works out well when I do the Skype thing because it's just like I'm there. There's no difference. I hear everything except the live part, like the commercials and stuff. But I can hear the telephone calls. So it all works out pretty well. And the engineer who set up our stuff originally, the one from WRHT, he said this could not be done. Said it would not work. They had tried to come up with a scheme some time ago, and they could never make it work. Well, duh. Should have asked me. Given me some money, I'd have shown you how to do it.
Well, I think it's all going to work out really good.
I just want us to start making some money.
Yes.
We
I'ma
each
tell
need
you
to
what,
take
though.
home about $300 a week.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'll just move in. $300 a week. That would be awesome.
I mean, for a couple hours work a day,
Right.
plus whatever else we put into it. But, that would work out great.
Yes, it
And
would.
it could be done. By the way, that in addition to Dorothy, that Potter never showed up to. He never went out to see Meredith. Said he did, but he did not.
Okay. Well, I'll finish typing all her stuff up and I'll print it off and take it out to her because what I do is do a package now that shows
Yeah.
history of the studio, blah, 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 And
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you what, our Facebook has really gone crazy. And I'm sure a lot of it most of it has to do with you. But I've noticed lately, we put a meme on there or something, the hits on it are
Yeah, I've seen.
crazy. Crazy
Something the other
hits.
day had like 2,500.
Yes, over 1,000 and the shares. And so I think we just keep pumping that, and putting it out there. So that helps. All the advertising that we can do for ourselves helps a lot.
The day before a show coming up, especially when it's a big show, if we could just take just a little bit of time in the studio and record it and then put it up on Facebook to run the rest of the day, promoting the next day's events. Join us on Wednesday
Yes.
for yada, 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 yada. Don't do it for anything mundane. Do it for special stuff.
Right.
So if we know we got something, that's what we'll do.
Well, we've been promoting a gentleman that's going to come on tomorrow to talk about. He's a licensed Medicare specialist. I told you he saved me $100 a month, and
Well,
nothing changed.
Here's what I do. I
Just
want to do
more
with
money.
him. I'm in the position. I sit over here and I get 15 calls a day.
Yes.
Are these people even legitimate? By the time I get to them and they don't speak English,
Right.
15 seconds till top of the hour.
okay, how much time left in the song?
10.
Okay. And then so we got about a minute and 5 seconds then to go till news time.
Yeah, here it goes now.
Okay,
Absolutely.
leave my pot turned up. I will turn it down on this end so you don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, here it is. Fox News is on. And good Monday morning to everyone. I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And guess who? I'm Rayford Brown.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm back in the studio this morning.
Well, good Monday morning.
Yeah.
Well, back in my studio, my slightly
Mhm.
satellited studio
Yep.
from the studio where you guys are.
Yep.
Hey, we got all sorts of satellite studios. You know, we got the primary unit downtown. We got when Hollywood takes the show on the road, like you
Mhm.
guys did on Saturday morning
Yes.
and on the football Friday nights. There's another satellite studio going out there. Wherever I am, I got a satellite studio possibility. So I'm still working from home, still recovering, and trying not to push it too much. So anyway,
Good.
and this is fun to do. I can sit back here. The sun's up. It's looking nice outside.
Well, good.
So anyway, how was your weekend?
Mine was good.
Mine was fair.
Enjoyed Saturday working, like you said, a remote at the parade. WSME broadcasted it. And we had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
at Chris Mann, Hollywood Man, and Chris Rayner and myself. And we had a good time.
Yeah, I was listening to
Missed
it. It
you.
sounded good.
Did you hear our shout outs to
I
you?
did. I sent you a note and
Yes,
about the
you did.
Coasties up there again, my boys,
Yes.
and some other stuff out there as well. And I heard you shout out to Kelly too.
Yes.
Driving by.
Yes, we
She,
did.
she,
She was
she's driving her
driving
old man around.
she was driving our commissioner, Robin Knapp.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And of course
Anyway,
I'd make sure I got Kelly out there and
there
said
you
hello
go.
to her.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Next time we'll just have to put you out there. We're gonna be expanding our capabilities here,
Yes, we
folks. I
are.
will tell you
Mhm.
right now. Sitting at home is unfortunately for some given me an opportunity to make plans and do things. So I can technologically do a whole bunch more stuff than we do. So we're going to work on it. And I would suggest that if there are any advertisers out there that would like to reach out to join into the future fun, and that's what it's going to be. We're going to have some fun till your
Oh,
daddy takes your T-bird away.
big plans coming.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's so many things for next year. Um, we're also going to be out ringing the bells at the Salvation Army one day in December. I think I
Yes, we
forgot what
are.
day it is,
Yes.
but we're going to be out there for an hour or so here and there. So we're gonna take our show on the road, and sometimes it'll be live, sometimes it'll be just us. But we want to be part of the community, and the community. I really would love for you to be part of us.
Right.
So if you want to talk advertising to jump on board the gravy train, you can give Lee a call. She handles all
That's
of that.
right.
And Lee's telephone number, we'll see if I can. No, I'm not even going to try
Yeah.
it. 910-330-0220.
Almost 0222.
I knew it. I knew I'd get it wrong,
Which you did good. Just
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
it's 2 3s, 2 zeros, and 3 2s.
Mhm.
but I got to get it in the right order.
You did good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyway, okay.
And
So
if they can't get a hold of me, they can send a message to you. You can message me and I'll be knocking on their doors.
yeah, if you just want to send me an email, that's the easiest way to contact me. I'm going to have some talks about that in just a second. The best way to contact me for something, unless it's like right now and you need to reach me by telephone, is to drop me an email. That does not mean text message. You can do that because I'll respond to text messages. You can also email me. You cannot count on me getting a Facebook Messenger. I still haven't learned to use that thing yet. I don't even want to learn to use it.
I learned that a long time ago.
That you don't want to learn to
Yeah,
use it.
no, don't text Rayford on Messenger.
I will get around to the text messages. This phone does not give me the alerts that the other ones have, and I've got a drawer. Anybody want to buy some used phones, barely used? But every time I get this new phone and it doesn't do what the old one did, and I have to. It takes me days to get all the notifications set up. So maybe I just need to have some 10-year-old kid to come over here and help me.
Well,
Sure, they can do it.
well, you just have to get with it. It's like I
Yeah.
told you that night I went to the Jacksonville Cardinal game and got to the gate, and you got to buy your ticket online. I got so frustrated. I handed the phone to my granddaughter. She took care of it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's about what would happen to me as well. So, want to start the day off with a attitude?
You go right ahead. We missed that.
Mhm.
Yeah, a bit of a commentary here. Y'all, people who really know me, they know me, and they know that I'm as big a prankster as they come. They don't get any bigger. I enjoy harmless pranks. I love good and bad jokes, as Kelly will tell you. I can come up with the worst jokes in the world, but I enjoy them. Matters not whether the butt of the jokes or pranks is me. I don't care. I can take it. If I want to get out there and play around, I take it. Bring it on. But there are some rules, and there are a few things you might want to understand about me before you play around in that arena. First, don't get personal with my family. Matters not whether the prank or joke is aimed at them or not. Matters only that things that are said about me as jokes in your mind hurt their feelings or make them feel uncomfortable. Remember, the water is very deep where I play. And whether my feelings are hurt or not, my family's feelings are more important than mine. If the only way you can have fun is to see people around me get ticked off, whether my blood family, my small family of close friends, or my family of coworkers, you do not want to go there. First, if you're trying to make a name for yourself at my expense, you might want to pick a media other than Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or similar platforms. I do not troll those outlets as they are meaningless and are meant for the cowardly who walk among us. My Facebook ventures are only to this show's Facebook pages, where I post commentaries, personal views, items of community interest, even breaking news when traditional outlets fail to do their job. I don't communicate via Facebook Messenger. Get over it. I have email, a telephone, ham radio, and a mailing address. I can reach live, honest to goodness, air breathing souls around the world more human than your mindless world of social media. And for those of you who think I am just like this because I'm old, you're wrong. I've been like this for more than 65 years since I began to form a personality. I've evolved over the decades, fought my personal battles, the battles against this great nation. And yet, I am still the same fun loving guy I was when I was 8 or 9. I'm still a jokester. I'm not one to reach down to personal levels that so that I can gather more hits on Facebook. Quantity may mean something in your lives.
That's right.
I like quality, a quality of life that makes me comfortable around family and real friends. Guess that's why I will never run for public office. I applaud those who do and will hold those who win to a higher standard than the normal person walking the street. And that's how it should be. Those we choose to lead us must be strong. And being the big man on Facebook is not bragging rights. As we've seen, those who make promises, those who duke it out in social media, those who make bold but unprovable statements are more often bullies or bench warmers. Let that sink in. They need the attention. They can only get it by trying to bring the real successful people down to their levels. In my case, don't apologize for anything you may have done, not to me. You're certainly welcome to apologize to my real friends and extended family, but even that is likely to fall on selectively deaf ears. From my point of view, to a battle of wits, you have come unarmed.
Well
Boom.
said.
Mic drop.
It's got things, it doesn't have anything to do with anything, one particular thing. It's just one of those deals that something spurred it and things went from there. And, I just picked up on a lot of things that have been said or done. Most of them I ignore. But when I look around me and I see people like you ladies,
Hmm.
you got mad
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes, I did.
Both of you did. Robin,
Hmm.
he and I don't need to be on the street out there together at the same time.
You two
No,
are
you
dangerous
two.
together.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're dangerous alone, but
Yeah.
together, whew.
Those two are unreal.
And then to my family
Hmm.
who got hurt,
Yeah.
irritated.
Yep.
And some of them just don't know how to keep their mouths shut like I do until I get ready to unleash. I don't react immediately.
Hmm.
I don't ever react immediately unless it's a physical situation. Then I can react immediately. That could involve a blap right across the nose bridge. That's, I mean, those days are gone, hopefully. But anyway, things like that could happen. Grow the hell up, people.
Yes.
That's all I can tell you.
Well, I can definitely understand where you're coming from. I think we've all been subjected to things like that happening, especially on Facebook. I know a couple years ago, I was constantly being attacked by someone who, I was in politics then, and someone who used to be on the executive board at the GOP. And I chose to ignore them. But the problem is, family and friends see those things.
Yeah.
And it was unwarranted. It was, a lot of falsehoods in it. So I let it all go. It's done and over with. But I certainly understand where you're coming from. Sometimes people mean to do something funny or unintentionally, they don't understand that it causes harm.
Yeah.
So, and why does social media, Facebook, why does that have to be everybody's platform? If you got something to
Because
say to me,
because
come to
they don't know
me.
how to write.
That's
Think
right.
about it.
I
They got no
just
place else they can put their thoughts. I do. You do. We
That's
do.
right.
Get yourself a blog. Put it down in writing. Write well.
Absolutely.
Well,
It's just like elected officials. Look at what they take. They just take so much on social media. Why don't you pick up the phone and call that elected officials or write them a letter,
I
ask
can
them
tell you
about
why.
something because
You
they
ain't
don't
got the
have the courage.
brass.
That's right.
You don't have the brass to do it.
Absolutely
You're
not.
you're you're chicken-livered cowards.
Right.
well,
Yellow-bellied cowards.
Keyboard warriors.
but a lot
Yeah.
of people go on social media. It's because they are so attention seeking, and everyone is in that look at me mindset. They got to have accolades. They got to have adoration. They got to have the likes. They
Yeah.
want everybody to think they're great. And I say you need to go to therapy.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about you in therapy during the upcoming session here. I don't. Do we have any guests coming in today?
Not
No, not
today.
today.
Tomorrow we do
Dang.
though.
Because I got another one to talk about a little bit later on,
Okay.
and part of that involves Kelly
Oh,
and
jeez.
involves another tragic situation this weekend.
Oh
Yep, I know what
yes.
you're talking
But
about. Yeah.
Horrible.
let's go ahead and do some weather, and hopefully George will give us a call anytime now, so I can talk to him about some things down at Tideline. Since I haven't been down there, they won't let me in the door. I think they
Good.
changed the locks on me.
That's a lot
But
of steps to climb.
there's a handicap ramp there at the end of it. That's not a problem.
Well, you still have to walk up the handicap ramp.
Do you think I'm an invalid?
No. We just
You, my
want you to
wife, my
rest.
We want you
daughter,
to
my
rest up.
sister, you guys have got me. I just need to go get in the grave.
No.
No, but see, we know you well enough to know you'll be out trying to build things and climb a tower
He'll
and
be
everything
fishing on the
else.
back of his
Yeah.
boat in the dock.
So we're trying to keep you down to
A
heal.
couple more weeks at least.
Yeah.
A couple more weeks at least.
Or
Okay.
I will. I'll give
We'll
you
make
until
that
at
deal
least
with
Thursday.
you.
Till at least Thursday.
Oh, at least Thursday. It's only been a week now. Was it been little over a week now?
Yeah, it's
Week and a
been
couple
10 days
days.
since the
Wow.
surgery, but
Let's give it
anyway.
about 10 more. Then we'll ease up a little bit.
It's going to be actually a little bit longer than that before I can do anything. But
Right.
I get to harass you while I'm doing it.
Didn't
Getting
it? What
over it.
was it? The doctor said 30 days don't lift your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
That's hard to do.
I bet you Rafer's already been trying to lift his arms.
I mean, how do you
Oh, I
brush your
can
teeth?
lift them.
Laying down?
which
But
why
the
he can't
problem
be
is
left
you
unsupervised.
the problem is you start tearing things if you
Yes.
lift them up too
Mhm.
high. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to go through what I did once.
Oh,
Once was
I
way
understand
more than
that.
enough.
Oh,
Mhm.
I
My
couldn't imagine.
brain is smarter than the average bear for the person who wants to go out and challenge this. I'm a lot nicer to me now. I'm not screaming at anybody.
Mhm.
I haven't hit anybody in 2 or 3 days. I'm just like a nice person.
Well,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Rayford, you're making me laugh right now.
That's mean I'm saving
Yeah.
it all up. Watch out.
I imagine just the emotions that you've gone through.
Mhm.
do have a way of changing you too. You're
I,
more grateful now.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to get my doctor on. I meet with her for whatever it is next week,
Yes.
at the end of next week, the surgeon. And I'm going to see if I can get her to come on the air with me one morning. And let's just talk about, the physical stuff, but also the psychological stuff of somebody who's extremely active, getting the crap knocked out of them. And, um, I think I've got a great attitude. They told me that I was going to do extremely well because I had the best attitude of anybody that ever had. So, and I got up, and when it came time to walk, they gave me this walker, and I carried it down the hallway. Like, give me a break. I don't need that. You all didn't touch my legs. I'm good to go.
Hey, Rayford, we have a caller.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. Who's this?
It's the donkey man this morning. Listen at the zipper chest back there y'all talking to.
Yeah.
Easy access.
Easy access. You got it, baby. That's what it said. Now, Rayford, I want to tell you, I'm tickled to death for you. The first time you called after this, or when you were going home, and you talked on the radio, I noticed how clear your voice was again, and that meant you have had plenty of rest. Nobody, after you get out of the hospital, it's tough because they don't leave you alone. But after you got home and you called, I was very, very happy to hear your voice the way it sounded.
Well,
Because it's tough. Yeah.
I had 4 arteries that were partially or completely closed up.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
As I found out, you do that, you take a lot of oxygen that could go to the brain and go to other areas.
Yep.
Everything from your knees to your feet to whatever. And now I'm getting that oxygen where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, everything just, wow. All of a sudden, hey, we got blood again. We weren't getting blood. But no, I'm tickled for you. You do sound good, and I was very concerned because you are a very independent person, as I was. And I remember the only thing I could do when I got home was walk, eat, sleep, and use the bathroom. I couldn't do nothing. And I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, and luckily mine was in the summertime. I get up 2 o'clock in the morning and frustrated. I'd get up and go walk. And I thought one time they were going to call the sheriff's department on me because my wife had at the time woke up and I weren't in the house. But I had the dog with me. I had another dog at the time, but now, buddy, they were all, the half of the neighborhood was up looking at me, and I was walking just right down the neighborhood. But I told her I promised them I wouldn't do that no more.
They called the sheriff because you were out there shooting raccoons at 2
They
o'clock in the
were,
morning?
yeah, shooting raccoons at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, yeah, everybody got scared, and I just couldn't lay there no more. I had to get up and do something because as long as I was moving around, I was a happy person. And it would make me ill because I had a recliner that had a handle on it like old lazy boy. Couldn't use that.
Yeah.
So if I want to get in a recliner, somebody had to yank the handle for me. And it's just because I'm like you, independent person. You ain't got to do nothing to me. I'll take care of it. No, you won't.
Well, the cool
You won't
thing
now.
with me is my wife. She bought these 2 recliners 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they don't have any handles on them. All you do is you lean forward. They're adjusted.
Yep.
You lean forward. You sit up. You lean backwards.
Yeah.
You go backwards. Duh.
Right. The old-timey recliners. They weren't about, that's what I used to call them. But no, I'm tickled to death for you. I really am. You were talking about the psychological, and I know Kelly understands all that. I didn't have that big a problem. I had to learn that I was helpless, in a certain sense. And once you learn that and get it in your head, you're going to be all right. Just patience is the best thing. And you walk around with that pillar. As long as you walk around with that pillar, you're all right.
Yeah. Well, as far as patience is concerned, my late uncle told me, I don't know, 50 years ago, that I had more patience than any man he had ever met. And I said, really?
Okay.
He said, yeah. He said, because you ain't never used a damn bit of it.
When you use some now,
It's all
you
stored up.
really will. But no, I'm glad you went where you went. I was so happy when they said where you were going. That is, like I told them before, we had 5 in Richland that year.
Mm.
And some of us went to Newbern, and some of us went to Greenville. And the ones that went to Greenville had problems, such as infections and stuff like that. And the ones that went to Newbern never had a minute's trouble. And because they didn't sew me up on the outside, they sewed me up on the inside, and then they glued me together. That was cool. I thought that was cool as it could be.
Super cool.
Man. But yeah,
Tim,
they glued you together. I was taking a shot. Yes, ma'am. I know you probably got a break.
no, is that what makes you so super?
What my good? Yeah. And plus, I'm starting to get better looking even at the crack of dawn now. I mean, not just at night. I mean, I'm a sexy beast. And then when the sun comes up, what's that, buddy?
Go see Dr. Johnson. She's over there in Jacksonville, and she examines eyes.
Eyes, yep.
So if you think you're getting better looking every morning, clean the.
Well, I got people telling me that. Oh, what are you trying to say, Raper? They lying to me? Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. Look, I'm gonna get over here. You go on to. I'm just glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you're back. You got my number. If you need something, holler at me. And if I don't hear from you, have a great Thanksgiving. All of you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Huh?
I need a ditch witch. Can you bring me one out here? Just leave it for a couple hours.
I wish I could. Right now, we don't even have one. We are so short on equipment. I'm serious. Our rent capacity is about 87% of what we have in inventory is rented.
Wow.
We're very, very fortunate right now. I mean, it's a mess, but it's slowing down. We'll get into that after the first of the year, but it's slowing down. Really is.
Good.
I hate it.
Thank you, Timmy.
But all right, y'all be good. And like I said, if you need me, you got my number, buddy. You do what you need to do. All right. Well, you youngins be good, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
What do you think? I haven't done it in a couple of weeks.
You
are live. You are local. Right here on Real Talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Weather is next.
Okay, and we are back. Ready to do some weather.
Yeah, we're going to do some weather. We're going to do some marine weather first. Then our marine weather is sponsored every day by Tideline Marine right here in Jacksonville. And the gentleman, he and his wife own Tideline Marine, George and Elise Papistret, celebrating their count on number 3, their third anniversary. Good morning, George. How are you?
Happy anniversary.
Good morning, y'all. How are you doing?
Good.
We're doing fine. Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, 3 years ago, you had no idea what was going to be coming down the pipe at that time with everything else, but you managed to pull yourself through all of the mess from a pandemic to one of the major outboard motor manufacturers going out of business, things like that. And that pandemic thing really put a crimp into a lot of things for a lot of folks and a little bit for Tideline, but you managed to stay well. And I don't think you missed a day. I don't remember any during that time.
No. In fact, I was talking to you. Appreciate this, Bennett, one of our offshore guys, pro staffers, and I were talking last night. And he took over that charter business the same year about when we took over Tideline. They were like, man, if we could have a year like our first year for like 3 or 4 years in a row, it will make the last 2 years well worth it.
Yeah, well, it's going to come back if you keep doing the business and treat customers the way that you're treating them. A couple of things you've done. You've accelerated motor maintenance, routine stuff. Instead of 4 to 6 to 8 weeks at times for routine stuff, you're bringing it down to days instead of weeks.
We're fortunate enough to have a staff now of employees who are like really good to us and our customers, so we have the capability to do that because we have a technician that one just works on run issues and older motors, and then 2 other guys that we can have do oil changes and things like that come up.
Well, I think it's excellent that you're doing all of this stuff. You've got every time this time of year between now and about the middle of January, there are any number of the fishing tackle suppliers and boat suppliers material that offer special deals. And that's when you go out and start stocking up on things for your customers for the upcoming year. Because the better the deal that you get, the better the deal that you can give them, right?
In a perfect world, we actually just ordered an annual order of trolling motors again that before COVID would start showing up about now and then trickling throughout the spring, and we'd have in the summer. But as you know, they've been coming in all at the end of the year, all at once. So I'm hoping that this year, like that kind of stuff comes in before Christmas so that we can have it, sell it. Because again, when you buy it at the bigger discount, then you can sell it for less and make everybody happy. But
well, that's good.
Yeah, I hope it comes in time.
You and the entire family, dear, you've done a remarkable job during these 3 years, especially with the limited experience that you had in the marine industry prior to that.
Oh, we're not done yet, Mr. Brown.
Well, I take that back. You had a lot of experience in the marine industry, but it was the Marine Corps green industry you had experience in, right?
Yeah, touche.
All right. And there are a lot of guys that come in and say, we like working with a company that has so many, they call them Marines or soldiers or whatever, but there's a variety of individuals that work at Tideline Marine, one for virtually every branch of the military.
Army's the one we can't get, I don't know why. They're tough.
I don't know.
We got coasties and airmen and sailors.
Yeah. Hey, I got a tip yesterday for a gentleman's moving down here, retired Army, getting out of the state highway patrol. I forgot which state. He's moving here, going to retire, but he needs a boat. So be prepared for that. I'll talk to you later about it.
Oh, fair enough. It's good to hear you on the radio again. I bet you the ladies are glad to have you back.
Most definitely.
Well, it feels good to be in here. So I'm not there. I'm at my house. But anyway.
Just talking.
Yeah, still talking. Thank you, George.
Yep. Yes, sir. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, y'all be safe. Lee.
Yes.
Marine weather.
You ready?
Any good this week?
Well, It looks pretty good. Today, northeast winds around 15 knots, diminishing 10 to 15 knots late this morning and afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet, dominant period 6 seconds, adjacent sounds and rivers with a moderate chop. Tonight, east winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming northeast 10 to 15 knots after midnight. Seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 7 seconds, adjacent sounds and rivers with a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop after midnight. Tuesday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 5 seconds. And Wednesday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, gust up to 25 knots in the morning.
Today, mostly sunny, high of 57. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 63. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 45. And on Wednesday, partly sunny, a high of 64. Not bad.
Not
Yeah.
bad at all.
Nice
It's looking
weather
pretty,
coming
pretty
in.
decent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Wednesday might be a little choppy on the seas. There'll be 3 to 5 feet.
yeah,
That's
Gust up to
choppy.
25
Yeah,
knots.
no, we're not doing
I'm
all
not going to
that.
be there,
No.
No.
even if they were 1 to 2.
Yeah. Nope.
No.
I got a little while, not long, but
If you
my
feel the
boat
need
is
for water,
about
go
ready.
sit in the bathtub.
So yeah, my boat is about ready. So by the time my boat is all fine tuned and ready to rock and roll, I can tell you what, I did have a dream the other night, and
Oh,
I called George about it yesterday. I said we're gonna have to go get some more Clark spoons in here because the dream that I had was this is gonna be a hot year for Clark spoons. So
Clark spoons?
we Clark spoons. This is a special spoon for fishing, great for
Okay.
Spanish fishing and a bunch of other species. But it's they got them in different sizes. So we've got a bunch. Or Tideline's got a bunch of
okay.
them in stock right now. On my boat, there's probably 24 at any given time.
The only spoons I know are the ones for eating. So,
Well, these are the ones that you use to get the fish before you use the other spoon to eat.
okay. All right.
It works out well. How backed up are you on time?
We
We're
got
doing
5
good.
minutes. We're good.
Okay. Um,
Do we want to talk about what happened at the parade Saturday in Raleigh?
yeah, that one.
That's a
Yeah, we
sad
do.
story.
There's a young lady killed.
11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Killed. There was a truck following their float, their unit, which some of them were out on marching along it. They were from a dance troupe.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of it, but they were walking along as you've seen kids do in a lot of these things. They weren't away from their float, they were right there. And the truck behind them lost control. 20-year-old guy driving. How do you lose control when you're running like 4 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour?
That's true. Because Kelly, I mean,
Mhm.
it's hard keeping it slow enough when you're driving someone in the parade.
Yeah.
You use the brakes a lot. I just
Yes.
wondered if he hit the accelerator instead of the brake.
I don't know, but it shows that he had a number of non-moving violation tickets on his record, including 4 tickets for failure to have a vehicle inspected, with the most
Well,
recent on October 20th.
yeah. Well, those are one thing. I checked for his criminal. There's nothing on the
Right.
criminal history.
Right.
He's 20 years old. Non-moving violation tickets. Non-moving, like seatbelt or whatever. It shows an attitude. And I'm not sure that that's what this young person, he's 20 years old, doesn't have, is an attitude. But right now, he's got a problem. He's going to have a judicial system problem coming up. Not a doubt about it.
Yes, where they charge him with misdemeanor death
Death by
by
motor vehicle.
vehicle, careless and reckless, improper equipment, unsafe movement, and he was also found to be carrying a firearm in
Yeah,
the parade,
20
which is a
years old in
no-no.
the parade. You can't do
Right.
that, guys.
Can't do that.
You ain't got no badge. You can't carry a gun in the parade. So leave it home.
Why would you think you needed one in a parade?
I know.
You know.
I mean, yeah, I know. Yeah, and then my next question became when I was hearing and I heard, see, I have a friend that was actually there and they had texted literally right after it happened. And they said they've stopped the parade and a girl was hit. It was awful. Very traumatic for them. They saw it.
Oh boy.
But my first thought was, I don't know. Why didn't the guy just turn the ignition off?
That is the first thing that I've asked myself.
Yeah.
If there is a problem, you hit the brakes, it doesn't stop. You hit the brakes and it revs up.
Mhm.
I mean, there have been equipment malfunctions. I don't know what kind of vehicle he had or what the improper equipment malfunction was. Uh, I don't know what he claimed other than what we read in the paper.
Yeah, he claimed he had no brakes, but he was
Yeah,
pulling a float or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
and even
That's a
if you
lot of
do,
weight.
Yeah.
turn the ignition
Yeah.
switch off.
Why didn't
It
he? Yeah.
the transmission will slow you down.
Yeah.
The least worst thing you could do is to throw it out of gear.
Yeah.
Me, getting real close, I'd put that sucker in backup.
Yeah.
You might do a little bit of damage, but it's a whole lot better than what you did.
That's
I
right.
just don't. I mean, and we, we don't have the facts, but my very first thought is, why did this guy not just turn the ignition off?
That's
Like
all you
maybe he
have to do.
panicked. Yeah. I mean, which I mean, I get. I mean, I don't know. We don't have the facts, but my God, people, the first thing you do is turn the ignition off.
Yep.
You do not want to turn it all the way over to the lock position
No.
because then you have no steering.
Correct.
That's a little
So
rough.
you
Yes.
just turn it over, turn it
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
and be done with it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't understand. I just don't. But it's very sad. Very, very sad.
It was
Very sad.
11-year-old child. And that
Yeah.
dance company was CC and Company Dance Complex.
Mhm.
Okay.
And they had participated previous years in the parade too. So my heart goes out to them all. It's just
Yeah.
such a tragedy.
It is
And
for sure.
and that's why, it's like Oslo, Jacksonville Oslo Chamber here, when they plan these parades, they don't allow you to throw candy from the floats.
There's
They
a reason for that,
that's
people.
right. They don't want children running onto the pavement there to retrieve
Yeah.
candy and possibility of getting hit. So they put a lot of safety things into place. Now, of course, somebody brakes going out on 'em is something that you can't plan for in advance.
I don't buy it.
I
Okay.
I
I'm
just think
sorry.
there's something more to it.
Wait till they get that vehicle up for inspection.
Right.
Mhm.
That's the first thing
Unless
I'd
that
have
thing
done.
went, this may be one of those guys. He likes to work on his cars at home. Maybe he just did a brake job on his car at home, and maybe it didn't work. I don't know.
Maybe
I
if you
don't
ask,
know.
yeah, maybe if you ask someone to drive for you in a parade too, you need to check their background on driving.
Yeah.
That
Well,
might have
that
been a
too.
good thing.
All right, we got to take a quick break, and we've
Okay.
got a caller holding, but we'll be right back. We're live in local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And we are back, and we do have a caller holding. Well, hold on. All right, who's
Hey,
this?
it's me. I
I
just
thought
want to
so.
call back. My daughter was at the parade
Uh-huh.
in Raleigh. In fact, she was sitting in her office watching the parade go by, and she showed me the video that ABC Channel 11 had, and what it was. He went downhill. He panicked, but it was a GMC Denali, and it had a lot of aftermarket parts on it, according to ABC. So, and 20-year-old, he was a member of that dance academy. It's just, when you put a bunch of aftermarket parts and stuff like that, they're going to find out why the brakes failed and why he didn't hit the. Well, if the emergency brake wasn't connected, it didn't matter if he hit it or not. And 20-year-old panicked, and she said that the police and spectators were pushing the truck to stop it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And yeah, I saw that. But he's got a lot of charges on him, and he's going to have to face a lot. And like Rafer said, when they take that truck and they start inspecting that thing, you can bet there may be some more charges. With improper equipment, will take care of all that, but that's just an infraction. It's the death of motor vehicle part, and
it can be an infraction, but it can add to another charge.
Right. I mean, you can even, as far as the negligence goes, I mean, and you know a whole lot more about law enforcement than I do. They can move the charges right on up to in the manslaughter range. You know what I'm saying? All depends on what the truck's going to look like when they tear it apart. And I hate it for the folks, and that dance academy's been here for 20-some years. And my daughter knows about it. Because she works at for a venue company, and they've done venues for them. And it's just heartbreaking. And a 20-year-old, you think it's kind of safe, but if you got a truck with a bunch of aftermarket parts, you don't know if they were put on properly or not. And that was my take on it. I mean, but she said she saw some part where he was going downhill, started going downhill, and that's when they stopped the parade, and she looked out, and she said, that's when she saw all that. It was right there by her office. I hate it, folks. I tell you, it's a mess.
Well,
You
wasn't
just
he
don't.
pulling a float?
That's
Yeah, he was pulling a float, four seat. Well, all depends on how big the float is.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a half-ton Denali, you don't know. You got some of these crazy fools running around here, and Robin can probably tell you about this. And they'll take the wheels off the truck and put spacers in between the rim and the hub, and that's illegal.
Well, let me just
ask,
what does that actually do for somebody with a vehicle like that? I mean, so just make them different, or does it do?
They're just souping it up. Yeah, they're just doing their own kit. And I'm not saying he done that. Yeah. But I'm saying people do that to make their tires stick out a little bit wider. They do that, and actually, I was always told that was illegal to put a set of spacers between the hub and a rim, because you got space there. You can have a problem. But when you go modifying a truck, you got to know what you're doing, because that thing's got to be inspected. And I remember years ago, at one time, these guys would put these different type of air filter on their car, and North Carolina failed them. You had to put the original air filter back on that when you had an inspector. It wouldn't pass.
Well, that's good.
I remember that part. Yeah, it was great. I mean, safety, you can't be too safe. We preach safety around here where I work at all the time, and everywhere I go. I'm on this base. I'm everywhere, and it's safety, safety, safety. And you can't be too. I tell you, but you can't be too safe. And
it takes a moment of stupidity or slackness, and your entire world can change.
You're right, and it just blows my mind what some people do to the. It's just like they had this Carolina squat going on all this time. North Carolina, they made it illegal, and you go down the road, you meet one, they wouldn't readjust their lights, and they blind the tar out of you at night.
That's right.
They didn't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
So hooray for North Carolina, and that's what I said when they passed that law. But I'm gonna get over here. Y'all
right.
be. I got work to do. Y'all be good. Rayford, swear, man, you sound so much better. I know you don't look no better, but God, that's what I look for when the first time you called up was your voice. And I know that don't mean a whole lot to nobody, but you can tell by a person's voice if they're tired or not.
Yeah.
And you weren't, when you came home and you spoke and you weren't tired that morning, I was a tickled child. I really was. I was saying, well, man, he's going to make it. But y'all be good. I'll get off of here.
Some of this time might be a perfect opportunity to see my jackass out there. And
yeah, that would be good as long as you ain't driving. Because what it is, about a month you can't drive.
Would you hush?
Or it was for me.
Yeah, we've already been through all that this morning.
Oh,
He's
Lord.
been catching
Yeah.
it.
Rayford, I got a little tip for you on that. Call me. I'll tell you how to do it.
No, you don't. No.
I did it early, Rayford, but I'll tell you how I did it. And you can do it too. I got comments. Just don't let Robbie know I told you. But I'll see y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
You know the break, don't you?
Yeah, we got to take a break.
Yes, right on time.
You want to lead us out,
Let's
Rayford?
do it.
All right, you're live and local Real Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we are back. Rayford, you still there?
No.
Okay, you are. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
maybe he
So you
took a
need to
nap.
turn that camera back on over here so I can see you on this computer.
No, I had to put my clothes back on if I did that.
Oh
Well, okay.
gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know something we never talked about?
What's
What
that?
was that?
That little boy that was missing last week and they found him. He
Yes.
had quite a little adventure.
Yes, he did. He
This little
adopted a
kid
cat, didn't
Adopted
he?
a cat, found what I'm fully convinced was a meth lab. I mean, he's cute as he can be. I mean, every parent's worst nightmare. He's only 7. He wanted to skip school to play video games. It was in Wake County. No, he's 9 years old. I'm sorry. He was last seen, and so when the bus came, ran into the woods, and
Yeah.
there was an Amber Alert issued for this
Yes,
kid.
I remember
They
that.
searched
Amber Alert.
all Tuesday night, and he was found Wednesday morning. FBI was even looking, and he, oh my word, he wanted
Yeah,
to.
kitty, 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 kitty.
Yep, but he. This is what because come on. So he's in the
Bentley.
woods. He finds an RV with power.
Yes.
Okay. First clue, all I could think of
Uh-oh.
was meth lab. That's literally what I thought about. He went in there. It had power. He made himself. It had a microwave. He found something to eat in there. Made friends with a cat.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's a pretty smart little dude for 9
I'm
years of
telling you.
age.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Well,
So and the parents, the dad had been searching. I mean, he just, yeah. So that's a good thing. But I mean, come on. This kid, like, you want to be mad at him for doing what he did, but then again, you're like, man, you're resourceful.
I'd have a
Yeah.
hard time punishing him.
I would too.
He'd be chewed out, and we'd have to
Yeah.
go over why he shouldn't have done that. How much grief did he cause his
Yeah,
parents?
it's not
Yeah.
the first
know.
time he ran away, though. So
Oh
I'm sure
my!
this time won't be the last either. He
I
got
have a
really
feeling
independent.
there's some family issues because his aunt is his legal guardian. So
Huh.
I'm thinking there must be some kind of family issues going on, but he is cute as he can be.
He is
Just
cute.
cute. And now he's, got a cat. He's adopted the cat, and
Wonder whose cat it is.
I don't know.
I think they said it was a stray
They
that he
said it was a
found
stray.
along
He
the
found
way.
He found it in his travels. I'm more
Oh
concerned
boy!
with the fact that I'm very glad whoever owned that RV in the middle of the woods with power didn't come back. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I
it,
mean-
it could be just something else. There may be somebody has a hunting camp set up or
It
something.
could
You
be.
never
Now,
know.
you could be right in Wake County, but yeah,
Like got woods in Wake County.
It was, they were
yeah.
probably plugged in already to a power supply, and he walked in,
Yeah.
flipped a switch. Hey,
Yeah.
the only thing
Where's
he
the
was probably,
food?
yeah, where's the food?
He found
Cooking
some. I
himself.
mean,
Look at him. He's just
he
adorable.
is
He's
cute
here.
as
He's
he
all
can
with his
be.
hooded jacket on,
Yeah.
his backpack, just going through the
He is
gas
a
station
little
parking
cutie
lot.
pie. I just, I can't see my grandson doing all that. So, I mean, because my grandson's 8 and this kid's 9. I
Well,
just give this kid a lot of credit, but it's
I mean,
still
I just got to
scary.
look back at me when I was 9 years old.
Mhm.
If I'd gone out there and I was going to run away or go into the woods or do
Mhm.
something else, I wasn't skipping school. I can tell you that. But
Yeah.
if I had decided to do something like that and disappear for a bit, me and my little shotgun would have been there, my little
Mhm.
410,
Mhm.
and we'd have been shooting squirrels and probably cooking them up if I found a place like that to cook them. I'd say, man, I am in heaven.
I could
This is
see
my
you
camp
doing that.
now.
Yeah. I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be people like me.
Yeah.
There aren't that many people like me anymore, I
Hey, if there's
guess.
any children listening, do not try this at home.
No, do not.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
No.
You'll
All right.
find
Well,
somebody
we're
safe
top
to
of the
eat it.
hour.
Okay.
Ready for the news break. So we'll be right back in 60 seconds. And we are back. Top of the hour.
And I'm here.
Yep.
So
Doing
am I.
good. Yep. Doing good.
Hey, my wife just came by and said, is grits okay with you again? I said,
Oh, I love grits.
Go and have some grits,
How
nice
do you
and warm
eat
for
your
the
grits?
belly, some butter,
Yes.
some turkey bacon.
Oh,
Mm.
turkey bacon.
Yum,
I
yum.
like turkey bacon
Yeah.
too. I used to
Yeah.
eat that a lot until I
Mhm.
started reading a carton, and it's really not much different as far as calorie intake
Mhm.
and fat and all that compared to real bacon. So,
Well, that's all true. But the difference right now,
yeah, it's what's
that's what we
available.
got. We don't have anything other. We ate that yesterday.
Yes, yes. I love turkey bacon though.
Uh,
Do you remember when we talked about that airplane that was stolen by an airport worker in Jackson, Mississippi, and he threatened
Yeah.
to fly it into the Walmart?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he just died in prison.
It's
No.
not my fault.
Yes. He's 29 years old.
What
He's found
happened?
unresponsive. They're not saying right now, but he was found unresponsive Monday at a federal prison in Miami.
Whoops.
It said responding staff immediately initiated life-saving measures and they requested EMS, and the life-saving efforts continued, but he was subsequently pronounced deceased.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some story coming out on that.
Oh yeah. Oh, well.
Hmm.
Hey, there's a big story that happened over the weekend out there in Colorado yesterday morning or early
Yep.
after midnight.
Mhm.
I want to talk about that a little bit.
All right.
So Kelly, a
Yes.
lot of this is going to apply to you.
Okay.
It's another one of my little commentaries. You get 2 for 1 today because I haven't done much lately. For the life of me, I cannot understand why one man can have so much hatred for any group of people that he doesn't even know, that he can just walk into a club and start shooting his targets seemingly random. That's what happened early Sunday morning in Colorado at a gay nightclub. 5 people were killed, another dozen, maybe more, wounded or otherwise injured. The assailant was subdued by patrons who are being credited with preventing an even greater tragedy. They actually got him down and beat him with his own gun.
Oh, good.
Perhaps under combat conditions, while fighting for this country, I can see soldiers doing what has to be done with armed combatants, nothing more than allowed by the Geneva Convention. But pathetic little soulless haters don't have rules,
Mhm.
and that makes them nothing but sick humans who are nothing more than a common criminal. The evilness is a problem. Somehow we seem to see them as mentally unstable. And somehow some people justify their violence, their hate is something acceptable as long as we can cram them into a box full of other unstable, violent hate mongers. The mentally unstable is generally used as a description that is way too broad. We need to narrow it into subsections. One of those subsections should be listed as evil. Another could be hateful. From there, that's where Kelly, and people just like Kelly, she's a trained counselor for those of you who do not know, come into play. I don't have the answers. My basic foray into this territory is simple. It's criminal. Whether
Mhm.
you don't have, whether you're mentally unstable, full of hate, or just plain evil. And for those of us in my former profession, our only job was to do everything we could to make sure that society is protected from the likes of these people. If our system has failed due to bleeding hearts who don't want to see evil people locked away, they say that being mentally unstable, a broader description I've never seen, and these people need special treatment, okay, so be it. Then hold our legislators accountable, not responsible. Our legislators are not responsible for what these people do. They're not responsible for that. Forget about reforming the judicial system. Left alone, it works fairly well. It's only when that small but growing group of misfits cause hiccups that we blame the whole system. I hate it for our political leaders, those who must provide what the masses require and deserve, and who know full well that their actions will be held against them come the next election cycle. They're so busy worrying about staying in office that they don't always look to make sure what they're doing is actually the right thing. I don't pretend to know what the right thing is. I do know that evil is not going away. I do know that the evil drugs that are consuming this great nation are here to stay until somebody with some brass stands up and says he ain't going to take it anymore. The pot smoking crowd, those people who are just out there causing no harm to anybody, pot smoking crowd, y'all lose a lot of brain cells every day, just to let you know. Yeah, you don't remember it. Yet, if there's a push to legalize pot, not medical cannabis, don't get me wrong, they're two different things, they'll drag millions of brainless wonders to the polls to vote. If only the majority of Americans would vote with even a small degree of common sense, relying on the values of our forefathers, our grandparents, this would be a much better world. Political leaders must be held accountable, yes, and that doesn't mean that we should wait until the next election cycle. Former 3rd District Representative Walter Jones, over a hamburger at a Jacksonville fast food restaurant with me, confirmed something I already knew. Politicians are always running for office.
That's right.
In his case, I came to understand that running for office was to know what the people think. That's why that during those holiday recesses, he drove to every county in the district multiple times to take the pulse. Sometimes it was at a town hall meeting, maybe at a county commission meeting, or sharing a booth at a fast food restaurant with one constituent. Last week on this show, my ladies had Onslow County Commission Chairman Jack Bright as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
He told of recent overdoses treated by EMS workers,
Mm-hmm.
a total of 8 in a very short period of time. In half the cases, EMS will not be called to assist again. Let me repeat that. If you're slow, in half of those 8 cases, EMS will never have to be called to assist those individuals again.
That's right.
We have a crisis. We are under attack. And seemingly, we cannot look at the situation, assign key personnel to head up different units to attack from all sides. That's the problem. Well, the problem is that the government and the people that it has failed to represent can't get their heads out of their backsides long enough to even publicly agree that the problem has become a crisis, a pandemic. If only one person were to be put in charge to use every available resource to bring this mess to a halt, and that person could not be overruled by any branch of our government, then I'm reasonably sure we would see some daylight at the end of the tunnel. You might not like the way it gets done, but it would get done. It would definitely require the old school use of flamethrowers to first light the way and clear out the tunnel. But it could happen. Like him or hate him, the only person I know that could have done it, J. Edgar Hoover, the untouchable.
Mm-hmm. Rayford, we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
Well, good morning. This is Jennifer.
Hey,
I just wanted
morning.
to take just a minute and call in and say just how proud I am of how strong Rayford's voice is and how good it is to hear him. I know he's been calling in, but just that I'm still rooting for him for hopeful recovery and keeping him and his family in our prayers, and just wanted to call in and say it sounds good to hear him on there. Not that we hadn't been listening to y'all, but it just sounds good hearing him on there for a long period of time.
It's just not the same without Rayford.
Well, Jennifer, I appreciate that. I also appreciate the card that you sent, the well wishes that you posted, and everything else all the way through. I've got a number of those cards from a number of individuals in the area, and I do appreciate each and every one of them. It's
good.
It's good to know.
I know it's a trying time for you. We went through it when Terry's mama had her bypass, and of course I was her primary caregiver during that, and which she had or still does, a lot of other health issues that made it different. But I'm just so glad that you just sound so good.
I appreciate that. It's the grits. That's the grits. My wife is making grits.
Oh, the grits.
Ooh,
Okay.
I want grits.
Well, I'm going to go get off here and get Mr. Blizzard up out of bed and fix him some breakfast. But I
Bring him
just
over.
wanted to
We'll have
call in
grits.
and do what?
Bring him over. We'll all have grits.
Oh, okay. All right, darling. Well, y'all let us know if you need anything.
Thank you.
Talk to
Jennifer.
you later.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Bye bye.
All right, Rayford. I want to address something your
Let's
monologue.
talk about it.
So I agree. I think one thing I have learned, and I think social media has especially, expounded this to see where people's mindset really is, because a lot of people have difficulty keeping their opinions to themselves, and their true thoughts and true, whatever you want to call it, is coming out, especially like on Facebook. People, I have learned, and part from doing my job and part from being on social media and part just in living life and living in different places, people have a lot of hate towards anybody that may be a little bit different towards them. And I've always been trying to figure out how much, better things would be if people were just tolerant. That people, and I've said before, and I'll say it again, and I said it last week, matter of fact, I don't know why someone's sexual preference matters to other people. And I've said it, and I've even asked people, why do you care who somebody sleeps with? It doesn't affect you at all. Like, I just don't understand why people get, all upset. And then some people start talking about, bring up religion and how, they'll bring up the Bible and they'll quote the Bible. But then my answer becomes, but it's not your job to judge them. The Bible even talks about not judging. So you can't pick and choose what excerpts of the Bible you want to apply to life. Apply it all. And
Right. Love it.
And when it's all said and done, in the end, your fellow man is not going to be who's judging you. It's going to be God himself.
That's right.
So some people need to take some of that little hate out of their heart and get off their high horses and quit hating somebody for being a different political, affiliation, for being gay or straight, for being a different color, for doing a certain job, and just, live your life. If they're not paying your bills, why do you care? And I just do not understand. And this guy that walked in here with a gun, and let me be clear too, not everybody that goes into a gay nightclub is gay. Okay. I've been in
No,
plenty of them.
That's right. We had one right
Yeah.
here in
Yeah,
Jacksonville. and
I've been in plenty of them.
We
I've
used to see a
DJ'd in
lot of-
some. I've been in some with friends because, especially for females, if you want to go to a place where you're not going to get hit on,
That's right.
you go to a gay club, because trust me, the men there are not interested in them. And you just have a blast. You can dance your whole, the whole night away, and then don't have to worry about being groped or cheesy pickup lines or hit on or something put in your drink. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but for someone to go in and target a club because they don't like their lifestyle is absolutely wrong.
Well, a person should be able to feel safe to go anywhere they
Anywhere
want
they
to
want to go.
regardless of their
yeah.
sexuality.
And just like, you hear people coming in and threaten groups of, you hear groups of Democrats being threatened or groups of Republicans
That's
being
right,
threatened,
yes.
that kind of thing. That's hate. And my mama always used to say, God don't like ugly.
It's too much hate in
Yeah.
this world. Too
It
much.
is.
Well, your mama was right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sitting over here. I'm looking at, what halo oranges are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love those
Those
little
things are
suckers.
good.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I know there are people that don't. They won't
Well,
eat
they're
them.
easy to peel.
Why won't they eat them?
Well, they just don't like the taste of them. I accept
I
that.
think
I
they're,
don't
I
care.
think they're
Yeah.
very
It's
sweet.
more for me.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Heck yeah.
But there are people that don't like certain types of food.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, let's just go up north of the Mason-Dixon line and look
Mhm.
at all the people you mentioned grits. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
ugh, grits.
Yeah, I love
Ugh.
grits.
Mhm.
And I hear that all the time. And there's just people that like them, some people that don't like them. Does that make me go out and shoot them?
No, I hope not.
No, I mean, it's,
no reason to.
but what I can't understand is why everybody thinks everybody has to think like they do. What, and to that person, I would say,
Exactly.
what makes you so special?
Well, the problem with there is as soon as you walk out into the yard today, you're going to be bombarded with political people who are going to say, you know what? Why don't you bleed the same way I do? Don't you? Why don't you like Donald Trump? I mean, look what the man did for the country. Then the other people going to say, look what Donald Trump did to the country. Why do you even want to support him? Holy mackerel. That's the way things are going. And it's all right. You vote your way. Let me vote my way. Don't belittle me because of the way that I feel.
Correct.
And I won't belittle you because of the way that you feel.
And
It's up to you.
And this country was founded on quite a few things. One, and I'm going to start with, it was founded on religious freedom. And let's be clear, it was all religions. It wasn't one particular religion. Because England, back then was the church of, if you were either the Church of England or you were basically underground or shunned.
That's why we became a nation.
Yes, we became one of the reasons we became a nation is people wanted, freedom to worship whatever. England had a ban on Catholics, and a Catholic priest back then could not marry two Catholic individuals. So Maryland, Lord Baltimore founded Maryland to be a haven for Catholics. How many people knew that? People came over and they were Presbyterian and they were Quaker and they were, Baptist and Lutheran. The Lutherans were very big. So it wasn't just one religion. And even now, I remember growing up as a kid, if you were and hearing old timers especially say, if you were this religion, you couldn't like that religion. Why? I mean,
I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's like people really need to just grow
it
up.
is ridiculous. Rayford, we have a caller.
I mean, that's what this country was founded on, though. Freedom.
Good morning, caller. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Robin. I just wanted to give a little call to Rayford, man. It's great to hear your voice, buddy. It's great to hear you on the radio. I agree with Timmy, man. You sound a whole lot better. I just hope you're steadily going down that road of recovery, man. Really proud of you. Worried for you for a long time. And I was glad to hear you're back on the radio and you're up and at it again. The old Rayford is back.
Yeah, what'd you call me old? Did you call me old?
It's
No, sir.
OLE. OLE, he said.
Yeah, OLE. Yeah.
That
OLE.
means Ole.
Ole.
Yeah, no.
Well, you are
in all
considerably.
seriousness, I do appreciate it. I do feel better. When you lose air or lose oxygen to the brain, apparently it does things like make me weird. So that's what I'm going to blame it on.
So it's just added the weirdness to it, the weirdness that you already had. So that's good. That's a double whammy for you.
We just got off this topic of downing people and being mean to people.
He's not being.
I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean. I'm just being truthful.
You should hear these two. Y'all just don't know how they banter.
Oh, gosh.
He has to do all sorts of levels to get down to where he is talking.
That's right.
No, not really.
Well, I just wanted to call and give you a shout out, man. It's good to hear you, and we'll see you soon, brother.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and we have a caller on line 2. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
It's Mike.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How y'all?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, I got an assignment for Rayford. Did you get whichever representative supposedly representing the fishermen? Can you get him on your show so we can ask him some questions?
Okay, which representative of the fishermen? You talking about
Which representative is saying that they're, in the general, all the regulations get made in the General Assembly. So which representative is it that represents our interest, in eastern North Carolina?
Well, there are several.
Going ignored.
Here in Onslow County alone, we have 3 state representatives. One of them represents part of the county. And then in Carteret County, there are others. So there's not one person. They all get out there and spread the blame amongst each other. Now,
Yeah, I understand that, but
I'm not sure that's who you actually want to have on here. These are lawmakers. They take information from the Marine Fisheries Commission. The Marine Fisheries are made up of a bunch of civilians and some others. commercial fishermen and recreational fishermen, and then they make all sorts of proposals about this and that and these and those. I could get one of those, at least one of those on here that you can ask questions of. One of them, he's a marine biologist as well, so he's also an avid sports fisherman.
Well, I don't know if he would help. I would like to know who are the politicians that are making all these regulations to where we can't harvest any fish, even with primitive methods of hook and line.
Well, here's a situation that you and I are facing. You ready?
We talk about rights, you know what I mean? And we're, as a fisherman who, you like to put fish in your freezer just like I do.
Yep.
But it's getting really hard to do it, and our rights are being chipped away and chipped away and chipped away, where it's going to be like Cuba soon. It's going to be illegal to possess anything that's in our waters. And as a North Carolinian, that's our stuff. It's our right to go harvest from the water or hunt deer and stuff like that. But I would just like to know, I don't understand how the rights keep getting taken and taken and taken.
If we could get one individual at the top of that food chain or near that top of the food chain who is actually responsible for this, that would be a fairly easy target to go after. There is not one person who was elected. There may be some people who are appointed. Most of them are appointed initially by the governor. They're on the various committees and commissions. Those are the ones who make the recommendations, and some of them are very avid, and should I say rabid, in pushing through these recommendations.
Right, but what I'm saying is when these laws are being made, there's somebody representing us in this area, in eastern North Carolina, that's not representing us, is what I'm saying. And I would like to know who are these people that are supposed to be representing us when these laws are being made.
Which county are you living in?
Onslow.
Okay, you've got two representatives that have most of Onslow County. One is Phil Shepard, one is George Cleveland. They should be answerable. I can ask either one of them. Both of them have refused to come on the show during recent times, even during this past election. I guess they say we're too whatever enough. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe they just figured the truth would hurt. Who knows? So they just chose not to show up, leaving the voters uninformed because nobody else challenges them. You tell me one other media organization or outlet that challenges anybody that's elected to office in this county. Give me one.
That's right.
No, there's none.
Well, Mike, do you have specifics on what was changed or what has differed over lately that I could probably research the bill and see?
It's the mere fact that just look at the past. I mean, Rayford can tell you just like I can. When you look at the past 20 years, we've had to get licensed for saltwater, which, and this is just my opinion, but I think if you're out using a primitive method, you shouldn't have to have a license, period, because you're an American North Carolinian taking advantage of a resource, which is in feeding yourself.
Would you agree?
You look at the limits on the harvest of what you're allowed to harvest. It's becoming nothing. I've said for the longest time, they're not going to be happy up there. And this is all, they have special interest in the seafood industry. That's what it's all about. There's hardly any commercial fishermen anymore, like locals. North Carolina has such stupid laws when it pertains to all that. Like they'll allow other states to sell in our state when we're heavily regulated and can't get, the fish until a certain, like flounder, can't get it till a certain date. But Virginia and South Carolina, they can sit there and get all their flounder ready and sit offshore and then bring it into North Carolina on opening day and get top dollar. And then your local fishermen get nothing. They get the bottom of the barrel. Just things like that. And then the harvest limits have just depleted to almost nothing. And like I've always said, they're not going to be happy until you're allowed to have one fish of each species. And it's getting to that point. Like we're doing 1 drum per day, 4 trout per day. Like there's a gazillion trout in the river and you're fishing a hook and line. Why can't you catch 60 and take them home? How many days do you do that in a season? You might get 1 day out of 5 seasons where you catch fish like that.
Well, I've got
That's
2
just
speckled trout this year. One of them was
What's
a
that?
catch and release, and the other one was a keeper. That was it.
Right? Yeah. I'm saying not every year. You're not out there killing them every year,
Nope.
But
I have more days I
that's
do not
just.
catch my limit than I have days that I catch my limit.
But like you said, nobody questions anything. They just allow all this. They're just chipping away at your rights to harvest our resource, and nobody questions it. And they say, "Oh, it's for conservation." Well, give me a break. It's for the big commercial people. That's where their interest is. They want them to make money in seafood. So they tell us we can't catch it.
Yeah, one thing you said that really I totally agree with, Michael. There may be others too, but one that stands out here. Um, Guys fishing in South Carolina waters, they can go catch their fish, right? They can catch the flounders even when it's not in season here. I don't know what the size limits are, but let's just suppose their minimum size limit in South Carolina is 13 inches. Minimum
They don't
size
have a
limit in North
season.
Carolina
Neither
may
does
be
Virginia.
15 inches. But they can actually bring their catch into North Carolina and fill out a trip ticket. This is where I caught this fish, was in South Carolina. And they can sell their fish in North Carolina. That is a problem for me.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Well, Mike, have you ever been to any of their meetings?
Excuse me?
Have you ever been to any of the marine fishery meetings that they have?
No, I don't know anything about them. I wish I could go because I have a lot of questions about like
you can go in
just
person.
how much sensitive some of this stuff makes. Like Rayford said, North Carolina, we have a season for flounder, and
30
Virginia
days.
and South Carolina don't. So they have all different, creel limits and harvest limits. So what good does it do for North Carolina to have not allow their citizens to get anything, but
Michael,
the 2 states bordering them, they're allowed to harvest the fish.
Here's what I want you to
what's
do,
it
Michael.
helping?
You ready? I want you to go to North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries, NCDMF. NCDMF, Division of Marine Fisheries. That's a website. And go on in there and look for the meetings, the next commission meetings. Look at the minutes from the past commission meetings. And then let's get on the air and talk.
All right.
How's that? Then I would like you to go to one of their meetings.
Yeah, I'd like to go to one. I'd like to know when they are.
Right there in Moorhead, you can go.
You might not be a happy camper when you leave, but I would like you to go to one.
You can also sign up to speak at those meetings too.
Yes, you can.
Like to get a bunch of fishermen and go up there. I mean, we're clearly being ignored,
Yep. Okay.
All right,
Thank you,
that's
Mike.
my rant for today.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye.
Hey, ladies, I know you got weather and stuff to do.
Yeah.
I've got grits that are waiting.
Okay.
Oh, you go ahead and partake in those grits.
I will. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. All right, we're live in local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back, and we're going to do some weather.
Yes, we are. We're going to start with
Yeah.
our marine forecast, which is brought to you by Tideline Marine. Tideline has some spectacular sales going on through the end of this month, just in time for your Christmas shopping. To see all the specials going on this month, stop by Tideline Marine, 159 Oak Bridge Street on the banks of the New River. Today, northeast winds around 15 knots, diminishing 10 to 15 knots later this morning and afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet, dominant period 6 seconds, adjacent sounds of rivers with a light, moderate chop. Tonight, east winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming northeast 10 to 15 knots after midnight, seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 7 seconds, adjacent sounds and rivers with a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop after midnight. Tuesday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 5 seconds. And Wednesday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots with gust up to 25 knots. In the morning, seas 3 to 5 feet, adjacent sounds and rivers with a moderate chop.
Okay, and our weather forecast for here. Today, mostly sunny, high of 57. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 40, better than last night. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 63. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 45. On Wednesday, partly sunny, a high of 64. And I'll go ahead and tell you, Thanksgiving Day here in Onslow County is supposed to be partly sunny, high of 65. So not bad. It'll be colder where I'm going to be, but it won't be snowing. So I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, when I got, talk about smart vehicles, you and I both have a smart vehicle.
We do.
I got in mine this morning, started it up, and it said, caution, maybe ice on the roads.
I love it
and I
when it
was
says
like,
that. Yeah.
I was looking all
Yeah.
around. I was like, what?
Yeah. I love it when it
No
says
frost went on the windshield or anything. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, caution. Those smart vehicles.
that. Well, let me tell you, I found my heated steering wheel button in my car. Look, I've had this
Wait a
car
minute.
since June.
Do I have one?
Probably. All this time, I didn't know I had it. I had the heated seats because I won't buy a car that don't have heated
Well,
seats.
I had heated seats, but they
That's a
didn't work,
requirement.
and I
Yeah.
didn't know that it's because they were missing a chip, which it has been put in.
Yeah, mine's put in.
But I love
heated
my
seats.
heated seats.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, but I
I'm
have a heated
spoiled.
steering wheel too. And didn't know it till this weekend.
I'm a truck princess
I'll
now.
go show you. I'll look on your steering wheel for the little thing because I
Oh.
didn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I do.
I didn't think I did, but I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right, I think we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Who's this?
This is Joy.
Hey, Joy.
Hey, good morning, Joy.
How are you?
Good. Happy trails are here. Rayford's back again.
is. Yeah, he
Yay, Rayford.
Yep, he's
So
back.
good to hear his voice.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sounded very
He's
good.
taking.
Yes.
He took a break right now to eat his breakfast.
eating-
I know. I heard those
Grits.
grits. I had some grits too, so I was eating some
See?
also.
There you go. A true Southerner.
Mhm.
I'm so glad he's doing well.
Oh, we are too.
And y'all been hanging in and doing such a good job.
Well,
I
thank
want to
you.
backtrack a little bit.
Go
Sure.
for it.
Okay. This is just me talking, my opinion and what I think.
Mhm.
You were talking about how people talk about other people, judging, et cetera, right?
Correct.
Well, this is how I see it. Sin. I don't think this is my opinion and my faith and my belief, okay? I don't think sin is numbered from 1 to 10. I don't think that if you lie, it's number 1, and if you commit adultery, it's number 10. I think that when Jesus died on the cross, that there was no labeling of sin. I don't see in the Bible where it says that this sin is number 1 and this sin is number 2, or this is number 10. In other words, let's say the people that are judging other people are committing a sin just as bad as the person they're judging.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
And trust me, plenty of them are.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So how can anyone say that they're like, I mean, they're sinning also at that point in time.
But
So really, actually, we're all sinning every day, and that's what it's all about. But they shouldn't be doing that because, like you said at the end, we're not the ones that are supposed to judge. We're the ones that are supposed to love that person, no matter who that person is, or what that person is, or what that person does. We might not agree, but we're still supposed to love them. We maybe not are supposed to have any type of relationship with them if you don't want to, but that's not how I was brought up. You're supposed to love everybody, no matter who, what, how, or who they are. I mean, that's just how I see it.
the way I look at it too is, I mean, there's some people. I have friends that are religious. I have some that aren't religious. I mean,
Right.
I have some from all different kind of religions. All, trust me, all kinds. Okay.
Yes.
But
Yes.
and not everybody believes, the things I believe in, and I don't hate them. I don't condemn them.
No.
I don't tell them, well, your way's wrong, mine's right. But the other thing is too, for people that are constantly, spouting, Bible verses and this, but they, some of those people are the most bigoted people I've ever met in my life. But to them, I would also say, so if you're a Christian and you believe that when you die, you're going to stand before God and he's going to open that book of life and read to you, nowhere in that book is he going to mention, Johnny down the street's sin. He's
Exactly.
only going to be talking to you about yours.
Exactly.
So that's why I say to people, why do you care?
Exactly.
Because
and they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't, because it doesn't affect them at all.
I don't, and that's what really disturbs me, because there's certain situations in my life or things that go on, and a lot of people, it's like they want to like talk about certain things and say this and say that, but I mean, I'm like, who are you to judge? I mean, just by you talking, like I said, I mean, gossiping, I mean, lying, I mean, it's all the same. I mean, and God's not going to say, like you said, like, Kelly, why did you say that such and such about that person, or why did you do this? To me, he's not going to talk to me about Kelly. He's going to say, Joy, why did you do such a thing to this other person? You're supposed to love. I died because I loved you. You were supposed to be that person on earth to lead that example. I left the Holy Spirit within you for you to love people no matter who they are. I mean, I'm not going to push how I believe on anyone, and I respect that. And I always tell people, if I'm sharing my faith or whatever, I always say, this is what I believe and how I believe, and I respect whatever you believe. I don't want to get any kind of religious, political, any kind of argument with anyone, because I respect everybody's opinions and affiliation with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't understand. It seems like if everybody would just mind their own business and just stay with what they believe and sort of like work through things somehow. It seems like maybe there's just evil in the world. There's just so much evil. When you look around every single day, all these killings and shootings, and it's almost like you're like, I think, Lee, you mentioned about fear of even going certain places. I mean, and you're sort of getting to that point, and that's really sad to think that we can't really go to some places, like taking kids to certain vacation spots. You don't ever know if somebody's just going to pull out a gun and just start shooting.
Agreed. It's getting bad to go anywhere, and even driving down the street, even here in Jacksonville, you have to be careful. A lot of road rage, a lot of people brandishing weapons, all kinds of stuff, even here in Jacksonville. And I'm not going to go into detail about it, but just to say, I know it's occurred recently. So, I mean, there's just a lot, and people need to start staying in their own lane, so to speak. And instead of worrying about everybody else, worry about yourself.
And I think you need to remember too, that old saying, people that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And I don't think there's only one person that's perfect in this world. The rest of us, we have our sins, we have our error of ways, and we just need to be more respectful of each other.
I mean, look, I admit I'm a sinner saved by grace. I mean, trust me. I mean, there ain't a day that goes by that I don't sin. I mean, I know that. I mean, that's just my belief, and I do wrong every single day. I mean, I might say I don't, but I know I do. I mean, that's just life. But I know that in the end, if I ask for forgiveness, and I've even gone to people that I maybe have done wrong, and that's for you to go to someone that you maybe have done wrong or you haven't done wrong, and you've gone face to face and asked for forgiveness, and that person shuns you. I've done my part. The rest is on them and between them and God, and that's a tough that's a tough thing to do.
Well, and if you read the New Testament, Joy, Jesus sought out the people that were shunned, that were, mistreated. So, you always hear people say, what would Jesus do? Well, I can tell you what Jesus would do. Jesus would embrace, someone of a different sexual orientation. Jesus would embrace someone of a different political orientation or even a different religion. He
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
have shunned them because those are the people he gravitated to.
Yeah, exactly. Think of the woman at the well. I mean, there's so many. All the ones that he did do, or you're exactly right, Kelly. The ones that he did go to are those type of people.
Yes.
I mean, when you think about it, but people, for whatever reason, they want to interpret certain scripture to apply to certain situations, and then they don't really understand the whole interpretation of all the previous scripture that leads up to that one certain scripture that they want to pull out toward. And trust me, I'm not a theologian or anything like that. I'm just like every day trying to live life the best I know how, with great failure at times. I mean, I get angry and I say things I shouldn't say, and I don't mean to, but I'm human. And by the grace of God, he took it with him, and when he died, and I'm going to try to strive to love my fellow man, no matter who, what, where, color, gender, whatever they are. And that's just my 2 cents worth for today.
Well, thank you. And we're going to take a break and appreciate you calling in. And I hope you're doing good. And I will be talking to you anyway. So
sounds good.
Okay.
And I'm so glad to hear Rayford. And
Yes.
thank you both, Kelly and Lee, for what y'all do.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Joy.
All
Have a
right.
good day.
Okay.
all right, see you later.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're taking a quick break. Live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. All right, and we are back, and we got, matter of fact, you know what? Forget that. We got to go right into another break. Forget I said that. I just looked up at the clock. So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll be right back. This is just a couple of commercials. All right, we're back for the last probably 7 minutes, and Lee's got something to talk about. It's kind of, I want to hear about it because you just told me what it was, but now
I know.
I'm
I found
wondering.
this. We were talking off air. That's why we were doing all
Yeah.
this waving and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever walked into a spider web? Yeah.
I hate
Do all
that.
this waving.
Yes. Yeah.
But just last month, we were talking about it. I mean, you go outside and there was like spider webs everywhere.
Yes, like going through the jungle with the machine to
Yes.
chop your way through.
I'd come out my
Yes.
back patio and boom, walk right through a spider web. Of course, I'm just clawing at the air because you just don't know.
Because you think a spider's on you.
Yes, really.
Yeah,
Well, guess
agreed.
what? Don't Inspired by spiders, one Japanese startup is inventing a new generation of textiles. You know what they're using? Spider webs. It's 5 times stronger than steel. A spider silk's unique qualities were recognized by the ancient Greeks. Now, one Japanese startup, Fiber is the name of it, is
Oh
exploring
my.
spider webs and how they can transform the textile industry. So the biotech company started making a spider silk replica in the lab and has since spun out its fabric range to include more sustainable alternatives to wool, cashmere, and denim. Now, I guess you
Wait a
might want
minute.
to
So
check.
you wearing some spiderweb clothes?
Yes, they're taking
Please
the
tell me it's got something else other than just spiderweb in
no,
it.
but they're using it as one of the fibers to build it.
Okay.
So you might want to check your in the future. Spiders create webs by spinning liquid protein into silk. Although silkworms have been bred to produce silk for thousands of years, spiders are cannibals, which makes them impossible to farm.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
interesting. I guess I'll be checking the labels of those jackets I'll
It's
be
gonna be
buying.
like the Emperor's New Clothes, you know what I mean? Where you be wearing your spiderweb outfit, and all of a sudden it's gonna, come apart or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
having
know how I feel about that.
successfully produced the spider
Yeah.
silk alternative, the team went on to develop a range of brood protein fabrics by altering the protein sequence of spiders.
How do you think that up? What are you just sitting around drinking one day and
Okay.
say,
Hey,
"Hey, let's use some of these spider webs and
let's
start
just take
making
some spider
clothes."
webs and let's
Yeah.
just start knitting a
Like you
sweater.
always wonder how the stuff like the because that's very bizarre.
It is very bizarre, but
You got to be like doing some kind of LSD or something to come up with something like
yes,
that.
if you're out shopping clothes and that has a label made in Japan, you might want to check it out real
yeah,
quick.
check it. I mean,
That
just-
is
I don't know.
bizarre.
That is very bizarre. I don't even know. I really don't know how I feel about that. Not sure. Because
I don't
when I
know.
walk through a spider web, I get panicked because I'm worried a spider's on me.
So does
Yeah.
this mean we need to just get rid of the spider and save the web?
I don't know. Good question.
No, that's really strange.
I don't know. I don't know. And for those that are following the World Cup, which I am,
Yes.
USA plays Wales today. I don't know. I think Wales is going to beat the USA men's team. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. I think if Wales doesn't win, I'm going to be really surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something we didn't touch on this
Mhm.
morning. It's a very, very, very sad subject,
Okay.
but I'm going ahead and put it out there.
Do it.
The Cardinals lost Friday night.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did
Yeah, they played
by 2 points.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a game where the Cardinals did not do their best, I would say, because they were constantly having flags thrown on them and penalized yardage for this and that. Triton had no calls on them, but
Oh.
it was a nail biter of a game. It went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth by
Penalties
2
will hurt
points.
you. Yeah.
And yes, but I do want to say congratulations to the Cardinals for an outstanding season.
Mhm.
And to get this far, kudos to you. And a lot of those young players will be back next year. So watch out, world. We'll
Well,
be back.
We also want to report that the Cardinals soccer team
Yes.
had the state championship game on Saturday, and they lost 2-1.
Yes.
Um,
Congratulations
But
to
I
them.
mean, come on, you made it all the way to the state 3A championship.
That's
You know how
right.
hard that is to do?
That's right.
Just think of all the teams they had to beat to get there.
Right.
So they did, kudos to the Jacksonville High Cardinals soccer team for making it to the state championship. Yeah, we're sad that they didn't bring home the trophy, but we are applauding you for getting to the championship. And 2-1 is they were down 2-0. So I mean,
That's right.
to come back and score, they just ran out of time before they could get that second goal.
And you know what my
So-
wish is? To see all our area high schools in the playoffs
Mhm.
next year.
Yeah. Yes.
We can do this.
We can do
We
it.
can do this. Also,
Absolutely.
County, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
get it done.
Absolutely, we can do that. So, but yeah, I mean, so if you know any Cardinals players, tell them keep their head up because they've done good. I mean, to get as far as they did, they represented us well. All right, well, we're coming
Yes.
to the end of the show, so we hope everyone's had a wonderful Monday. It's been knock on wood, find me something off the
Yeah,
table.
let's
We've
let
had
it-
a hitch-free Monday morning so far here in the studio. I know. Yeah.
Well,
We
let's
got-
talk about
yeah.
tomorrow's guest too.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow's
Tomorrow's
guest.
guest.
We have Peter Wright, who is a Medicare representative.
Yeah, he's
And-
licensed Medicare agent, and he's going to
Yes.
answer all your questions because for those of you that are getting the
Open enrollment still going on.
it's open around,
Mhm.
but getting 500 calls a day
Mhm.
and getting all sorts of mail about Medicare and what option you should check and
What plan?
what
Yeah.
plan you should get and what covers what
Mhm.
covers your medicine and your hospitalization and nursing home in later
Mm-hmm.
years. And for those of you that still have insurance of another plan and and then you get Medicare should you keep both. So he's here to answer your questions. It's going to be a very informative show. So
Yeah.
tune in 7:30.
Yes, if you have
He will be
questions,
here.
you can send them to us ahead of time if you
That's
need
right.
to, or call in or message in that day, either one. But tomorrow, 7:30, he'll be on, and I've got some questions for him for someone that has given me a list. So it should be a good show.
Absolutely.
All right, tune in tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful day. We really appreciate you letting us start your morning off, and we will see you tomorrow. Be safe. Have a good day.